so I could send you a copy of what we did today. So I'm just wondering if anyone is in the classroom at the moment, or everyone is not in the college on the campus. The reason I ask is because I want to see if because I think we have some new students, and I want to make sure that they also aware that they need to be on Zoom this week. Anybody is in the classroom here, or not really? Because I see about 10 people that logged into Zoom, but we have another, I think, 15 more that supposed to be in class. Well, anyways, we'll see what happens later. So we're going to start with our nice textbook that was found absolutely for free. And I guess I want to first of all show you how I found it again. So I just Googled the textbook, which is called Intermediate Algebra by author's names is Gustafson, and then I added PDF to the end. So when I did this, you could see the choices that appeared, and looks like there's a number of choices here, and I believe that we select choice number 4. Choice number 4. I think over weekend there were some new selections added. So, well, I'll just select the choice number 4 here by simply clicking on it, and there it is. So here's our textbook that we were using already, and what I can do is share this again with everyone in class by just placing the link to this textbook in the Zoom chat. I hope you all had a chance to download this textbook to your device, whatever it is, computer or laptop or something else, but make sure that you download it, right? So I'll be talking about this again and again, because it looks like more and more people are logging in the Zoom, and that's great. So anyways, here we started to deal with a review of this, and last time we didn't do much, but now I will start with the chapter 1, first section, just to give you some refresher of what is happening in math. And in order to get to that page, notice that the contents say it's page 3, but you can see already that we are here on the page number 11. So how to use this online textbook? It turns out you need to go to the page number 3, so you can start with this story of chapter 1. But if I keep scrolling down, the first pages, they didn't really count for some reason. They utilized this Roman numerals. You can see like 17 or something, and that's not the pages that we really need. So to get to the page 3, I need to skip all of these Roman numerals and go to the places where the actual regular pages start. So what you can see is, after you keep moving down, I say, Alex, this is annoying. Yes, but I will show you how to get it faster. So you can see that page 3 actually corresponds to page number 35. In other words, you always need to add 32, so like 30 something, in order to get to the page that you need. So how to do this faster? Well, if you just open the contents of the textbook, and if you want to go to the page 3, so if you add 32 to it, then you can do the following. You can add 32 and 3 and get 35. So just type 35 on the top, and then once I hit enter, I'm pretty much where I needed to be. So I guess since the textbook is free, well, you get some not everything is so nice, right? So what you want to do is, well, just add 32 to every page that you need to get to. I guess it's not that hard to remember. So the way that sections are designed, they put at the section end the exercises. So I just scroll down a little bit to the end of the section. So that's a standard for all of the math textbooks. So they show some examples when they talk about the chapter, the entire section, and then they want you to do some of the practice. Now, chapter 1 is something that should be very familiar to you from arithmetic class. So that's something that I could have skipped, but I just want to talk about it a little bit. And this way, I guess we're going to, well, just refresh of what is going on there. Oh, I see more people are logging into our Zoom class. That's great. Just wondering, is anybody physically present in the classroom? Just let me know. You can put this. If yes, then you can just put it in the Zoom chat, so I can see it in the chat. If you look at this page, and you can see the menu, this red and green bar, so you can just try to locate it with a cursor, and you will see on it there is a choice called chat, and that's where actually I put the link to the textbook. So you can just type, if you're in the classroom right now, then just let me know, because I want to see what's going on in the classroom since I'm not on campus. Or you're not in the classroom. So anyways, at the end of the textbook, they have, at the end of every section, the exercises that start, and if you continue looking at the problems, you see there are groups of exercises in the beginning, such as a review and then vocabulary. And those groups I don't ask you to worry about when you do your homework. Remember, we need a textbook so we can actually do some homework. What we can do is practice, that's called guided practice. And from that practice, we'll do a few problems in every section. And notice that this practice extends to the next page, and it ends where the applications are. So I don't ask you for your homework to worry about the so-called applications, because those, well, you can do if you want to, but I'm not asking you, because I know some people really don't like homework, word problems, well, homework as well, but you don't need to worry about applications. So just do a few problems from each section when you be working out some exercises outside of class. Do it on your own piece of paper and keep it, don't lose, until the day of the midterm. remember I was talking last time about the midterm exam that will be in the middle of semester on week 8, and that homework will be due on week 8. So not as of yet. So you could just do a little bit of practice problems and then save it until midterm, and then you will submit the whole thing to me. So we'll talk about this. So far, we just starting, and the point is, all you need to worry about is just do a few problems from so-called guided practice, and these few problems will mean that you wanna look at the exercises from one page, let's say where we start, and we start someplace here. So you could do one exercise from this page for practice, and look at the next page, you see some more problems. So you can do another couple of problems from one from here and maybe one from the next group of exercises as well. So we say 3 problems and that's it. Yes, I don't ask you to do too many exercises. I want to make sure that you are actually practicing at least a little bit for every section that is covered in class. So, as I said, this is a review for what you probably already familiar with. So let me actually do a couple of problems here, so you will see how we worked with the arithmetic. So, for example, when you compare numbers, like if I try exercise number 55, that says compare 4 with a 7. Well, we say that 4 is smaller than 7. And that's it. So it's just utilizing this smaller or greater symbols in order to answer the question. So it looks like that's a pretty straightforward question. Which one is smaller? Let me try 57. That's interesting question. So now you're comparing 2 negative numbers. So once again, we're here on the page 45. We're in the section 1 of a first chapter, so it's a 1.1. And there are 2 numbers here, -5 and -10. So I have to decide which one of them is greater and which one of them is smaller. Well, we know for sure that 5 is less than 10, and that's how we show that. So we can see this on the picture of so-called number line. I can put 5 here and then 10, which is greater. Number to the right is greater. Number to the left is smaller. Then I can put the negative numbers. Notice that mirror through 0, numbers 5 and 10, we get those negatives. And notice that now everything mirrored, so things changed. So you can see that now 5 is to the right, so it is greater than oh, thank you for letting me know. So, and that's great that you are in class. So maybe you can share the same computer for now, because sometimes it's difficult to connect because, well, you may have some device that is set up with different email. If that's your private laptop, sometimes it memorizes the email, and when you try to connect to Miami-Dade College Zoom, the device is not being recognized because they want you to be on student email, not on your private email. So I guess that's usually the case. So you need to somehow log out from your private email. And if you can't, I know that some devices, they just don't allow you to do this. It depends on whatever settings. The advice is check out the laptop in the library. Just go on the first floor and tell them that your instructor asked to check out the free laptop, and that one will work for sure. Or they can actually take a look at your device and try to help you to log in some other way into the Zoom. But just wait another half an hour, will be done, and then you can go to the library and get. Plus, it's a free computer that they will give to you. I hope this week they should still be having enough of those units. They just ask you for a student ID. So, or if you don't have your ID with you right now, you can just tell them that you're in this class, and they probably can find you as long as you're a student. So they want to make sure that you are a student, so they give you the laptop. Otherwise, anyone from the street can come by and get a free laptop, and that's not what the college want to do. So that's why you want to have at least numbers so they can check the system that you are indeed student of our college. So try to do this right after class if you still unable to log in, but you want to make sure you log out from all of your personal and other accounts, and that way you will be able to log in to the Miami-Dade College Zoom. It might ask you to download it if you never did it before. Don't worry, it's a safe program, so it takes probably a couple of minutes to download it. But make sure when you download it that you put your last name and your first name, the way it's in the college, because sometimes people put very nice nick, but I have no idea who that is. So make sure that I know who you are. But anyways, if you let me know that you guys can't log in, so that's good. It's first day basically of new materials, so I don't worry about it. But I hope that Monday or Wednesday you will be able to eventually log in, because this week I'm out of town, but I'll be back Monday. Actually, Monday next week we don't have a class because it's holiday. Did you know Monday is a long weekend? It's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday. So Monday, all colleges in the nation are closed. They celebrating this holiday. So Wednesday. So next week on Wednesday, I will be on campus. If anything that you need to do physically, talk to me. So next Wednesday, I will be coming to the classroom, or just in case, because this week I'm out. So anyways, so the main thing that you are here, so please don't worry. I will definitely take care of collecting attendance and so forth. And let me try another exercise. So on the next group of problems, looks like they continue using this number line to compare numbers, and also they add the story of inequalities. So for example, when we have problem like number 75 here, this little exercise wants you to take a look at the inequality they already pictured here. So in exercise 75, actually they want me to picture, right? So they say x is greater than 3. So what does that mean? X is greater than 3 means that you are here at point 3 and going to the right on the greater side. Now also there is a circle here because we strictly greater, so we do not include number 3. Sometimes people use circle, but you can see here in blueprint that they start at 3, do not include, so they put parentheses. As Alex, looks like in this textbook they have the answers posted in blue in every single exercise. Yes, so that's great. So you actually know the answers. You don't have to go to the back of the textbook, but you can right away see the answer. And this is awesome. I didn't know that. I just found this textbook and I noticed that looks like we have answers for every single exercise right next to the exercise. So that'd be a big help for you to do homework, right? Well, I say, so Alex, I just copy these answers on a piece of paper. Well, for this first chapter, problems are pretty short. You can see that the answer you can get right away. But later, of course, you're going to need to do a little bit more to solve the problem. So when you send me your homework, you actually try to solve, but you will have the answer in front of you. So if you cannot produce it, well, that'd be a good question to ask Alex next day in class. But I just noticed that's a great textbook. So you have all of the answers in front of you. Look at this. How about exercise number 103? What are they talking about here? Well, there is another way to approach the exercises. So they start by giving you the interval that actually from 6 all the way to infinity, means all the way going to the right. That's what this first portion says. Now there is a second portion that says we have interval also that starts at 9 and goes to infinity. I hope you saw that infinity symbol before, but what I do is I also picture it on the same number line, so from 9 to infinity, so goes all the way to the right. And again, I do not include number 9. And what they want to do is they want you to take so-called union. So the symbol union stands for taking both at the same time. And it turns out the union is going to be the greatest set here, which is starting at 6 and going to the 9. So in the union, we will have the answer from 6 all the way to infinity. So that's union, means take everything covered by one set or by another. So either set I have to include in my union. So the answer we can see is pictured, and that's what they wanted. So that's exercise 103. So as I said, we just do a refresher today. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit and want to take a look at section 1.2. Well, it talks about adding, multiplying, subtracting the numbers. I'm sure you already know how to do this, but well, just to refresh your memories, I can do a few problems. In fact, these problems could also be done using a calculator, right? Since you're in online format, how would I know if you use calculator or not? But looks like even though you know the answers, but to solve these exercises, you still need a little bit of a paper. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to take problems at the end of this second section. So today I also want to take a look at another section in this textbook and refresh your memories on how you did arithmetic. So how you added and subtracted various numbers and various fractions. So for example, if I start with exercise 31, that's where guided practice starts. So we just care for this part. So I'm in the section 1.2 right now. So I'll do problem number 31. So I'm going to take two negative numbers, -6 and -3, and add them with each other. So people put parentheses with -3 Well, to make sure that we can see that both numbers are negative. Well, the rule says, if you have same signs, they're both negatives, then what you do is you add those numbers, 6 and 3, which is 9, 6 plus 3, and you keep that negative sign. So the rule for adding numbers with the same signs, whether they're both positives or negatives, is the same. So they say same signs you add and keep sign. What if you have different signs, like in problem 34? Well, in exercise number 34, we have different signs. One is positive 6 and the other is negative 3. So if signs are different, then you subtract. You subtract the numbers. So you get 6 minus 3, which is 3. And you keep sign of larger number. So you keep it positive because larger number is positive. There is another way of doing it. You could just put a minus here in between of 6 and 3 because plus and a minus stand for minus. So you end up with subtracting 6 and 3, and the result is also 3. So either way, you get the same answer. So whether you are using a calculator or if you're doing this by hand, the answer is same. And that's great to know. So exercise number 39 continues the story. In this exercise, they have again two numbers with minus signs, and it's minus 5 and minus 7. So what you do is you add numbers because signs are the same. So you get 12, 5 plus 7, and keep the sign negative. Someone can say, Alex, I know that sometimes you have two minuses and they give you a plus. It has nothing to do with this. This works when you multiply. So when you multiply numbers, well, it's a different process. So you do different type of procedure when you start multiplying. But when you add and subtract, the rule is same signs you add, different signs you subtract. Let me try another exercise here, like problem number 41, that has two minuses in front of 33. Do you see this? Minus 33, and then you subtract negative 33. Well, when you subtract negative, then this actually turns into a plus sign. Two minuses in a row give you plus. Did you know that? It's like the opposite number of the opposite number. So when you have positive 33 and negative 33, well, you subtract those and you get 0, right? So the answer here is 0. And again, you can see that the answer right under the exercise. So problem number 41. So it looks like these problems are pretty straightforward, so you can get the answer right away, but not for the exercises like problem number 43 here. So in exercise 43, we actually have a pair of fractions, right? So in exercise 43, actually going to add 1/2. Oh, I should be careful. I need to copy it the way it is. It's not 1/3, it's 1/2. I need to wake up. And also 3/5. So if you have two fractions, and doesn't matter, those just numbers or fractions, as long as you have two minuses, then you get a plus sign right away in between of them. And then what I'll do is I try to find the same denominator. So when you deal with fractions, things change. What you care about is so-called common denominator. So if your denominators are 2 and 5, what you do is multiply 2 by 5 and get 10, Remember, there was a special procedure when you adding or subtracting fractions, and it is quite different. So this exercise you want to do by hand, not to put it in the calculator, because our goal is to show how we produce that denominator 10, and we produce it by multiplying those denominators with each other. So 2 by 5 and 5 by 2. But I also have to put the same factors with my numerators, right? So the fractions don't change. So if I take 1/2 and multiply, divide by 5, nothing changes. And analogously with 3/5, I multiply by 2 the top as well as the bottom of the fraction. So now my numerators will be 5 and 3 times 2, which is 6. So I end up adding 5 and 6, and that's how I get 11. So 11 over 10. It looks like the answer I produced is exactly the same. Yes, that's a good observation. You notice that it's actually subtracting -3/5. But remember what happens with signs when we have two minuses on a row, they turn into plus. So that's why I wrote this as a plus instead of copying minus and a minus and then again a plus. But that's good that you noticed that. Analogously, we did problem 41. We also had two minuses with 33, and these two minuses also turn into plus. So it doesn't matter if we have fractions or if we have whole numbers, the process is the same. Two minuses turn into the plus. So I'm glad that more and more people are adding to our class. I know it's just the first week, and I promised to give some quizzes, but I don't think I'm going to give a quiz today because it looks like some people having issues with logging in or with other things. So it's okay. I'm not going to collect attendance today. Again, it's just the beginning of class, and we're just doing a review of what you have learned before. So if you didn't learn or it was a while ago, forgot, well, you have a chance to actually refresh your memories and, well, maybe practice to do some of these exercises where we find the same denominators. So let me try 46. Let me try one more with fractions. Two minuses, you see that is very popular here. So two minuses is a plus. So when I do exercise number 46, I actually need to put a plus in between of those two fractions, just like in the previous problems. So I'm going to copy 7/8 here. And from it, I'm going to subtract negative, which means add 3/4. You see the denominators, 8 and 4, that are friendly because common denominator is the larger one, is 8. When you say, should I multiply 8 by 4? Well, you can do this, but then your denominator will be too big. Well, I'd rather just try the largest from these denominators, which is 8, because I can produce that number 8 out of 4. I just need to multiply that 4 by 2. So I must also multiply by 2 my numerator of fraction. So now I just care about adding those numerators, 7 with 6, and this is 13, right? So once you made denominators the same, then all you care about numerator, and 13 over 8 looks like is the answer. I know some people say, Alex, maybe you can rewrite this as 1 and then 5, right, over 8. Because 13 has 8 in it, and besides 8, there is a 5, so you can pull out that 8 as one whole thing, and then 5/8 will be attached. I say, is this also going to be the correct answer? And yes, these two, 13/8, as well as 1 and 5/8, they both mean same thing. They are equal, and either way you write for your result is fine with me, because I know they're the same. to me, they look the same, so you don't need to worry which way should I put my answer. Either way is fine because they both are correct. So that's the advantage when you do homework on a piece of paper. I just check what you've done by hand and I can see right away, and that's all we need. So let me try another exercise from the next group of problems that talks about multiplying numbers. And notice that problem like 47 has answer minus 12 because you're multiplying one negative number by the positive. So if you have just one minus, when multiply, the result is negative. If you have two minuses, the result is positive. So if I multiply 2 by 6, you get minus 12. And in a problem like 50, you have two negatives. So when you multiply 2 by 5, you get 10. And the minuses, they cancel each other in pairs. So two minuses give you plus. So 2 times 5 is 10. That's it. So the rules for multiplication are different with addition. So when you have two minuses, the result is positive. So let me try problem number 51 that deals with fractions. This exercise wants you to multiply two negative, actually a negative 2 nines by the positive 18 over 7. So notice that when I multiply one negative and one positive, the result will be with a minus sign. So now I'm going to produce a fraction by simplifying this first. In other words, I'm going to divide 18 by 9 and produce 2. Did you ever see people doing like that? So they cancel, they divide by so-called common factor. So 9 disappears and 2 stays. So this fraction will still have 7 in denominator. That's all left over. And 2 times 2 is going to be 4. And you can see that this is exactly the answer they provide us with. So when you do exercise and you produce same answer, it's great. You can move on to the next group of problems. Or if you did not get the same answer, you can always ask me to do this exercise next day in class. So let me try one more problem here, like problem number 52. That multiplies two negative numbers now. And when I multiply negatives, the result is going to be positive. So what I'm going to do is just write 6 over 7, which is multiplied by 5 twelfths. And I don't really care about these minuses because now result is positive. So 2 minuses give us a plus. It looks like I can divide by 6 my 12. So the 2 will remain and 6 will disappear. Just leave me with 5 on the top. And on the bottom, I'm multiplying 7 by 2 and get number 14. And that's exactly the answer they have here. This is great. So we can move to the next little group of problems that wants us to divide. And it turns out the division is the same thing as multiplication in terms of signs. Like here, for example, when you divide two negative numbers, the result is positive. So you can see the answer is 1 over 5, right? And it is a positive 1/5, because if you divide 25 by 5, you get 5 on the bottom. And 5 cancels. Notice that when 5 cancels, what you have is 1 left on the top. So you need to always put 1. When you say, why do we put 1, Alex? Well, because you can think of this fraction as 5 times 1 and then divided by 5 times 5. So I don't put a minus because 2 minuses give me a plus whenever I multiply or divide. And then I cancel the 5s here on the top and 1, 5 on the bottom. And that's how you can see that all we have left with is 1/5. Okay, so how about problem number 59 here? Well, in exercise number 59, I'm going to have to flip my second fraction. So it turns out the multiplication and division are actually the same procedures. So if you have 3/4, -3/8, then what you can do is flip that -3/8 and write it as a -8/3. So instead of dividing, now you will be multiplying. So the point of story is division is the same as multiplication by a reciprocal. So once you flip the second fraction, you can see the result is going to be negative because you can see only one minus here. 3 and 3 will cancel, so they just disappear. And then when I divide 8 by 4, it's 2. And indeed, the answer is -2. So division is the same as multiplication, and that's good to realize. We do one more. I know there are lots of exercises I'm doing today. I don't want to overwhelm you, so I'll just do this one and stop. And then if anyone needs to has any questions or needs me to email syllabus or anything else, we can definitely take care of it. So once again, here, instead of dividing, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I flip my second fraction. So I put a -3 on the top and 10 on the bottom, just like that. See, first step is to flip, so you can actually start to multiply, or people say to cancel here. So it looks like once I flip that second fraction, I can divide 16 and 10 by number 2, so 5 will be left instead of 10, and 8 is left instead of 16, right? So what's the answer? Well, looks like this be a fraction with a plus sign because 2 minuses gave me a plus, remember? So on the bottom of this, we have 8 multiplied, on the bottom is 5 times 5, or 25, right? So we just multiply whatever factors left. And then 8 times 3 is 24. And that's it. This is the answer. You can see indeed it's 24/25. So let me give the link to the textbook to the class once again. If somebody logged in and didn't see the link, here it is. I put it in the chat. So all you can do is just click on the textbook link and make sure that whatever is downloaded, you save. So that way you can have a free textbook for the entire semester with you. So you just click on that arrow that points down the download. If you already did it, you don't have to do it again because it's already somewhere in your device. But if you didn't, well, you can just save this textbook. And if you don't have your laptop with you right now, well, get it in the library. Just go downstairs if you're on campus, or if you're not on campus, just go on campus, try to do it today, and get a free rental in the library. Don't forget your student ID. And what I can do is show you how I found this textbook. So I go back here. So I just clicked on the back, and you can see what I entered into Google. Intermediate Algebra by Gustafson PDF. Well, I should not email you the link to this textbook using college email. That's why I keep telling you how to find it. It's not very difficult. So just type Intermediate Algebra. That's the name of our class. The author, I found it's very good author, Gustafson. There are lots of textbooks by this author. You can see this. First choice was also by Gustafson. Lots of books. David Gustafson produced. And don't forget about PDF. So once you enter this, choice number 4 looks like is the one that we are using for this class. It has PDF in it. So you just click on it and the textbook will open right away. So you could use this free textbook. I'm going to click on it and you see this opens up in my computer as well. So that's a free textbook. And I guess I'll let you enjoy the rest of the day. It's about the time for us to end the class. So I didn't give a quiz today. So next time I will. So today I didn't collect the attendance. I see that some people have a little bit of difficulty to log in. So I hope by Wednesday, by next class meeting, you all be able to log in to Zoom, because Wednesday we'll have a class. And then Monday, there'll be no class because of holiday. And then next week, Wednesday, I will stop by the campus. And if you want to talk to me, just come to the classroom. I will be in the classroom, but you can also be on Zoom, so you don't have to wake up that early. So homework is always whatever we did in class. And today we looked at 2 sections. Remember, section 1 and section 2. And I asked you to do a few exercises from each section. Few means 3 or 4, something like that. So there were 2 sections for review that we considered, 1.1 and 1.2. And I guess next time we'll just move on and do some more of review. So this week I just plan to look at that chapter 1, and well, then we'll move to chapter 2. I don't think I'm going to worry about the applications, and the last 2 sections I'm going to skip, because that's, again, a refresher. Some instructors may simply disregard all this chapter 1 stuff, but I think that's a good idea that we go over fractions, right? So I would recommend you to do the same problems I did today. Just get a piece of paper and do them on your own, especially those that we did at the end related to fractions. So again, I don't collect the attendance. I'm going to stop this recording.